Thank you, Tanveer, for inviting me to talk about a person who I've known for a very long time. This has been a very bad year, not only because of what the RSS and Mr. Modi is doing to the country and what Mr. Trump is doing to the world, but JNU lost a number of its stalwarts in the last few months. Professor Sivasamy, Professor Datta, Kasturi Datta, Professor Panikkar, and then Professor Oommen were all lost in the last few months. Professor Oommen joined JNU in 1971 when the teaching program in JNU started. I'm just saying this just to remind you that he's as old as the university itself. The first MPhil batch came in 71, and I joined as a student in 72, the first MA batch. So we've had a long association from the 70s till he passed away, really, over the years. So it was an association which was filled with, as has been mentioned by previous speakers, with a lot of argument, debate, humor, and things like that. One of the things that one remembers, I won't take very much time, there are others who know much more about Professor Oommen's work, but except just mention a few things about him which struck us, was, and that is what built the JNU atmosphere over time. What struck you about him was, to us at least, that he's completely non-hierarchical nature, and he's willing to speak to anybody, welcome anybody across the board, whatever be their discipline or age or whatever. I know that this is not the feeling often of the students who sat in his class, who remember him as a very stern person, but certainly in our walks and wherever we met, that sternness never appeared. He was totally accessible to the students, and he was totally non-hierarchical. Two things that are, as you know, fast disappearing, unfortunately, from the campus, and though JNU is struggling very hard to keep it. I've had several occasions to discuss formally and informally with Professor Oommen, and one occasion I remember is when we went as far as Sonada in Darjeeling, and he was in his 80s and as sprightly as ever, embarrassing much younger people like us with his energy. And we would discuss and debate issues that concerned the country, on which we had several differences, I would say, but without any rancor. One of the issues that got naturally discussed, an issue on which he wrote and thought a lot about the nature of a nation state and what constitutes a nationality, and issues like that, on which we had differences. We as historians had a different understanding of what constitutes a nation and a nation state and what he understood. I'm not getting into that. But we were able to debate that with complete equality in a sense. And despite the fact that he was so much senior to all of us, but he never held his position and his seniority on his sleeves and, tried to dominate you. That was never the personality that he had. What we had in common with Professor Oommen was the objective that we had in mind, whether across the disciplines in JNU at that time, that what our nation state should be, that it should be secular, it should not be based on any one identity, whether it be region, language, ethnicity, or religion. We were agreed on that, and Professor Oommen worked in that direction, as we all know. His work on Hindu-Muslim unity, his work for equity was very well known. And again, an area, as we are aware, that we are very rapidly losing in this country. Both the culture of debate, which has virtually disappeared in our country. If you happen to belong to a religion, and if you happen to be a student of JNU, and if you happen to be independent thinking, you remain in jail for 5 years. that is Omar Khalid, my student. So, I mean, we've come a long way from what our teachers and our contemporaries in JNU tried to build in this country, and in an institution which was independent, free-thinking, and democratic, secular, equitous, has taken a big hit. In such a situation, the passing away of people like Professor Oommen is a big, very big loss, not only to the university, but to our country. I pay my tribute to him. Thank you.